and welcome to Tame Your Drive Tech Tuesday. We are your technology integration team with Midland ISD. Here with us today, we have Joshua Boyles, who's an instructional technology coordinator, Isabel Espinoza, who is our lovely director, and myself, Sherry Harris, who is an instructional technology coordinator. Any information that you may need for our instructional technology in the district can be found at midlandisd.net/iTech. That includes Go Guardian, Nearply, Clever Touch, and Tech Tuesdays. Please feel free to sign up for our tech newsletter, where Josh puts out all the latest tips and tricks for technology in our district. And we are also offering SBAC and CPE credits for today's training. To enroll, you'll click on the link that Josh provided in the chat, and I will award you credit. You don't have to do that. I've already done that. So we're good to go. And also give us a follow on X, what was also known as Twitter, at Midland ISD Tech, to keep up with all of the latest technology trends that are going on in our district. And now I'm turning it over to Josh.
Well, thank you, Sherry. Howdy, all you happy people. And I'm going to send y'all some more links here in the chat, and we'll get started. So here we go with how to tame your drive. And I'm not talking about no cattle drive, I'm talking about the googly. All right, so here we go. Sorry, guys. First thing we want to look at is just some basics. I'm going to fly through these pretty quick if I can. So there's just a couple of things on this. Also in the chat, what I've dropped in is a link to the presentation and a link to something that we're going to share out about backing up at the end of the presentation. So that's there in the chat as well. So first things is, obviously, most of you probably already know this, but in your Google Drive, any Google Docs, Google Sheets, or Google Slides, there are all of those apps that are in your waffle. Those are all Google based, right? So anything that you start in any of those apps, like if you start a new Google Slides, that's going to automatically save to your Google Drive. You can also create new docs, sheets, or slides projects from within Google Drive. So if you just click the little plus, the big plus button, that will get you started on there. Another thing we want to recommend to everyone that you use the Google Drive app on your phone. And the reason why is it's just a good idea for teachers, in my opinion. You can use the app to easily transfer files and photos right from your drive for things that are only in your camera or only on your camera roll. So for instance, T-test classroom evidence, maybe things that you've taken pictures of, or things that you need to provide. You can, using the app, easily upload those to your Google Drive as long as you're signed in from your phone's Google Drive on your work Gmail, and you can upload those right into your Google Drive. It's very, very convenient. Next thing we want to talk about, just a couple more basics. I'm going to go through these really fast and then switch over and show you what I'm talking about. So one thing is when you open up your Google Drive, you're going to see, you can see on the slide, it's in the yellow, the picture with the yellow border. There's a lot of like things that are all on a side panel. It's like your main left side panel on Google Drive. You've got workspaces, my drive, shared with me, starred items, and trash. Okay. And so basically I'm going, and then I want to talk about some of the ways that you can do different views in Google Drive. There's a little button where you can actually toggle back and forth between list view and grid view. And then last but not least, I'm going to show you guys just basically how to drag and drop files, which is really cool. So I'm going to switch over to my drive. I'm going to share my screen, and my computer's going just a little slow here. Okay, hopefully everyone can see that. It's taking just a second. I'm not sure why. Okay. So the first thing is, like I said, over here on the side menu, you have all of these different options. Workspaces, it didn't work for me last time. I think that's actually showing up this time. So basically what you can do is you can create a new workspace. You can title it. I can just leave this one untitled. I had created one before just to try it out, and then I deleted it so that I could show you guys how. So when you create a workspace, it's something that you can basically add files into and use it kind of like its own little area within your Google Drive. It's a place that allows you to organize frequently accessed files for short-term projects or for an ongoing workflow. So after you add stuff into there, you can work on those with collaborators. It's really, really cool. Next thing, we're going to go to My Drive, and obviously that's the main part of it. You can think of My Drive sort of like your desktop on your computer. Now, I know a lot of people um, you don't necessarily think of that right away, but that's what really helps me, because basically what it has is files and folders, and that's what your desktop has. So if you think about it that way, it can really help you a lot. It's basically, it has all of your folders, contains all of your files. It can be organized with color coding, naming conventions. You can rename any of these files or folders just the way you would on your PC. You can use a drop down over here on the side. See where it says My Drive? I can use that little triangle and I can actually drop down and look inside of all of the different folders that I have and see what's inside of there. So that's really convenient. Next thing is Shared with Me. Shared with Me is kind of like the inbox of your Google Drive. So in here is going to be an easy way for you to get to anything that anyone has shared with you, instead of having to look through My Drive to find it. Next up is starred. So if you go over here to starred items, this is going to be anything that you have starred, and it'll basically show up inside of there. So really important stuff that you think is important. Um, you don't want to star everything, because if you star everything, then obviously nothing is starred. So use that judiciously. And how would you star? Well, we can go back to My Drive here. You can right click on, say if it's a PDF or an image or a doc, you just right click on that and you double click and open it. And then over here on the three dots, you can go over to add to starred. So that would add that into that starred area. And then last but not least, we've got the trash, and the trash is basically a folder, basically. Okay. But anything that's in there, you only have for 30 days. So as long as it's within 30 days, you can recover what is in there. But after 30 days, Google's going to delete that and empty out that trash can. Okay. Next off is just another basic tip. When you're inside of your Google Drive, you're looking at all of these folders. Anything that is a solid, it doesn't matter what color it is, as long as it's solid, that is a private folder that only you can see. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this. There's this folder that I have shared out with other people here. It has a little person, like an icon of a person. That is showing you that it is a shared folder. So that is a quick way to glance and see what's being shared. How would you share? Well, actually, I believe Isabel will go into this a little bit later, but you just right click those three dots, and you can drop down to share, and that'll open up this shared panel where it'll give you options of how and who you want to share that folder with. So you can share a whole folder with people. I used to do that with my principal for the school that I was working at. And so very convenient way to share a whole group of things with collaborators. Next up on top, I mentioned this earlier. Here's that button on the top right where you can toggle back and forth between grid view and list view. A lot of people like list view, but I like to see the thumbnails, so I keep that on grid view as well. And then over here, you've got this settings gear at the top. You can click on that and click into settings. And I think you guys can still see this. That'll kind of give you some information about what is being used as far as storage. And you can actually select which page you want to be your start page. So if you want it to be the home page or the My Drive. And like I said before, I like the My Drive because that's kind of like the desktop of the Google Drive. So I have that set to there. You can change the appearance. There's actually a new dark mode, which is kind of neat. Might be easier on your eyes. And you can choose the density of how dense or how open everything appears. And then you can choose offline, which will allow you to create and edit your recent Google Docs sheets or slides on this device. So basically what it does is allows you to edit things while you are not on the internet. So that's kind of convenient, but I don't have that checked. Also, what else was there? There was something else. Anyways, take a look through there. It's pretty self-explanatory, really easy to use. That's the settings gear. Um, Okay, and then dragging and dropping. Now you guys can't see this, but I'm clicking on a picture on my desktop, and I'm just dragging it into Google Drive. And when you drag something in, you'll see everything kind of highlights blue. And I think you guys can see that. You can't see what I'm doing with my mouse, but you can see that everything is highlighting. And here in just a second, what you should see, I don't know why it's just taking a long time transmitting through what I'm sharing here, but you will see at the bottom, whenever you drag and drop something into your Google Drive, it will show you like a green. It'll actually have like a circle where it shows that it's being uploaded, and then it'll check mark with a green check mark when that has uploaded. So if you drag and drop like 10 or 15 items at the same time into your Google Drive, you'll start seeing those green check marks going by as soon as every single one of those. So I like to watch that, and you can even scroll through there if you have a lot, and you'll see everything being checked off as it's being uploaded, so you know not to leave until everything has been uploaded. So just a few basics there. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Miss Isabel.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, I'm going to resume presenting my slideshow. We have a lot of really good information to share with you. There's a lot of things that I didn't even, that are not new to me, but some really cool hacks. I'm going to go faster because we actually didn't get to finish last session. So the drop down, and always on the left side where you have your panel, you can always click on the little arrow and you can see the drop down and you can see all the files. And like your file explorer, you can always choose a certain amount of files by clicking on the shift key on your keyboard and then clicking on the first file and the last file, and then just you can move them or copy them. You can do that the same thing with your control key and clicking on the separate files that you want to move or copy, and you can drag and drop folders as well. Something really cool here that you could do, you can also add shortcuts if you have files or folders that you want shortcuts in different locations within your Google Drive. You can always right click on your file, and then you click on organize, and then you click on add shortcut, and then it'll ask you where you want to move it to, and it'll look like the little folder with a little arrow, which means it's a shortcut. So you can move shortcuts and put them in different places. Now the Drive shortcut hacks I thought was very cute because these are hacks that I didn't use before. So if you click on a file and click, obviously if you do Control C like we do for everything else, you can copy the file. But if you click on a file and click on a period, let me show you, I'm just gonna demonstrate it. So if you click on a file and you click on period on your keyboard, it will load the sharing feature. So that's really cool if you don't have to go through the whole thing. Also, if you click on a file and click on the letter P, it gives you a preview of the file that you're looking at. Instead of having to double click and open it like the full opening, all you do is click on it and do the P, and it gives you just the really cool preview. And then the next one is N. So if you click on a file and click on the letter N on your keyboard, it lets you rename it. So instead of double clicking or right clicking or anything, all you click is a file and the letter N, and it'll let you rename it. And then the last one, you can do the Z, and it'll allow you to move the file to a new location. So that's where you would tell it if you want to move the file somewhere else. If you want to add a shortcut, there's also a shortcut for that. It would be Shift Z, as in zebra, and it'll add a shortcut as well. So you don't have to like right click and click on organize or add a shortcut. And you can do that really easy. So now if you look the presentation, oh, you don't see the presentation anymore, but I'm gonna go, I'm just gonna explain everything on this Google Drive because it's so much information. I believe Josh, I don't know if he's done it already. If not, can you put the link to our presentation on the chat, please, Josh, so that you guys can follow along if you want to. I'm just going to explain everything from, okay, thank you. I'm just gonna explain everything from this Google Drive so that you can see what the things we're doing. It's just a lot of information. So one thing that you could do, let's see, for if you have a PDF and you have a new version, normally it's like a brand new document and you save it to your drive. So now you have two PDFs of the same thing because you made changes to it. There's a way that you can update the PDF and not the link. So let's say I have this PDF right here. And I made some changes to my PDF and I don't want to replicate or have a different file for the new changes. So what you could do is you right click on it, and then you click on file information, and then you click on manage version. So here, this is a current version, but I can click on upload new version. And let's say I have a new version of this document with all my new changes. I just click on upload it and it will replace it. So this is great if you work with PDFs a lot. That will help. So you don't have to upload the new one, delete the old one. You just update the one that you already have. So this is a great tip if you use PDFs. Also, there's a really neat option to restrict file access. So let's say I want to restrict file access. So I'm going to share my file. Now, this is a regular file sharing that you have on Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and Google Drive. This is the same sharing. Actually, let me not do this one. I need one where I am the owner. You need to be the owner of it for this to work, because I'm looking for, I'm not the owner of this one either. I need to find one where I'm the owner just because I need to have a little gear.
Used was the
yeah, but it was on my other Google Drive.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Let's see if this one will work.
Because you're on iTech and we don't do anything on the iTech email.
You are right. Okay, I'll explain it. Let me just share the presentation because I'm using a different Google Drive. Okay, so I'm where it says restrict file access, you can limit the ability to download, print, or copy files. So in your share settings, at the very top right, there's a little settings gear. If you click on that, you have two options that you can uncheck. Other than the normal sharing where you can make a person an editor, a viewer, or a commenter, you can also uncheck where it says editors can change permissions and share. Or you can also uncheck viewers and commenters can see the option to download, print, and copy. So if you just want to share a document or a slide or whatever, and you don't want them to make any changes at all, or even make a copy, or even print it or download it, you can go in and uncheck these that are automatically checked for you. So this is restricting the file access even more. Another thing for the sharing is that you manage permissions. And that is where you see all the names and you can see who is a viewer, a commenter, an editor. You can also add an expiration date, so you can give temporary access to an editor. So when you click on share and you make someone an editor, there is an option, as you can see here, that says add expiration, and just say this person has access to edit this document up to, and then you give them the date. Also, to transfer ownership, it's important to know where it is. If you need to transfer the ownership of any file on your Google Drive, let's say you are moving to another school, but the school you're at, this document belongs to the school. It's information for them. So you will know you don't want to be the owner anymore. So what you do is you go to the sharing settings, and where that person is the editor, you just or the owner, you click on transfer ownership. That person, the owner, has to do it, and you transfer the ownership to someone else. So this is important to know. This is something that really was amazing for me to learn, that you can make your Chrome browser, your Omnibox, your Google Drive search. Okay, so these are, I'm just going to explain it. What you do is on your Omnibox is your search bar at the very top of your Google Chrome, where you type your normal web pages or your search. What you could do to make your Google Drive be searchable through that too is you right click on the Omnibox, you click on manage search engines and site search, and then you scroll down a little bit to where you find site search. You click on add, and then you have to enter the following fields. Where it says search engine, you're going to type Google Drive. Where it says shortcut, you just type the word drive. And then you need to copy that URL. Josh, were you able to put that URL on the chat? So that Josh put that URL in the chat. It's a unique and weird URL. Copy that, paste it where it says URL, and then save or add. Now, the next time you want to search for something really easy, you just go to your Omnibox, you type the word drive, because that's the word we use as a shortcut, and then space, and you type whatever. And it'll find it from your Google Drive. It's amazing. I love it. I'm using it now, and it's really, really good. So that's a good tip for you. Now, also, let me go into the advanced search. So I'm going to share this tab instead. This is my Google Drive. We have the regular search here where I was searching for a PDF, but we also have an advanced search on, I just moved my mouse over to the right. This advanced search will give you all these other fields. You can fill one out, you can fill two, you can do them all, and it helps you find the type of document that you're looking for. Like, it gives you all these options, or who the owner is, or if it has certain words on it, or so you can make any of these, fill in any of these fields, and it'll narrow your search down. It'll make it easy. Sometimes I have a hard time finding my files, but it's really good if you know, like, who's the owner, and is it a photo, and who took it, like all this. It's really good to find, to know this information. And let me see what else I have. Really quick, you can use emojis as a naming convention if you want to make it easier for you to find your files. So I've seen and heard that teachers use like emojis to name their assignments or to put title on stuff so that kids can find it easier. And it might help for us too. So like, for example, I have this sheet right here. I'm going to use the letter N to rename it. And I want to put a little emoji here. So for the Windows computer, you do Windows key and the period. So, and then you would get the little emojis. And attendance, I don't know what would count as attendance here. I'm just going to choose a random one. But you can put little emojis on your names, and it'll just make it easier for you to find your own little files. And then I just think that's super cute. And we're going to talk about, Josh, I think, is going to cover color coding your folders and putting stars on your folders. And I think that is all from me. So I'm going to. Oh, Sherry.
Unless you want me to do it.
Oh, Sherry, you're going to do Google Drive for desktop. Go ahead, please. Thank you.
Okay, so Google Drive for desktop, it saves your all the files on your computer directly to your Google Drive. I'm going to pull up mine. I'm going to share my entire screen. That way you can kind of see what mine looks like. So if I go down to this file explorer down here, this is how you kind of know if you have it or if you don't. If you go to your left side of your menu on your file explorer, if it says Google Drive, you have it. You can save anything you want to in this Google Drive. And I just updated it. So you can see I've kind of been cleaning up my Google Drive. This was absolutely insane. But you can just drag and drop here, and it'll save directly to your Google Drive anywhere. It's really important that we do that, especially with everyone moving to Windows 11 this summer. If you have something on your desktop computer or on your laptop that you always use, but and you don't save it to your Google Drive, it's gone. So if you don't have that Google Drive right here, you can go to your Google and go to Google Drive for desktop, and you can download it to your computer.
Yep, and that link is actually in the chat as well.
And with that being said, I'm going to stop presenting and turn it over to Josh.
Awesome. Howdy, y'all. I'm back. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen again. Go back to my Google Drive. Okay, mine are a couple. I have a couple more, but they're just really easy, real quick, easy. So over back in my Google Drive, you can see I got some folders here, and some of them are different colors. And the reason why is because I like to color code my folders. I keep all my Tech Tuesday items as the color blue. That helps me to organize myself. It's really easy to color code your folders. All you got to do is right click on the folder, and then you can actually, wait a minute, you click on the three dots right here, and then, well, I guess I forgot how to do it. Hold up. Let me see. So
Go
it
to
says
organize, Josh. Go to organize.
it is organized. I was looking at my cheat sheet over here. So you're going to go to organize, and then you've got all your colors. So you got a color palette there. So if I wanted to make this shared folder red, I know it's super important. That's how you would do that. Pretty cool, right? The next part here is I'm going to switch over to another browser tab, and you should see my Gmail. And I have a kind of like a fake email that I haven't really typed anything into yet pulled up. So let's say that you want to share something, you want to attach something, but it's as long as it's in your Google Drive. If you actually start using your Google Drive for all of the things that you want to store, like instead of your computer, which is probably a good idea anyway, then you'll never have to share a document again. So that's really cool. You just send a link. So that means you'll never run into that 25 megabyte attachment limit. Instead, you can send up to 10 gigabytes worth of files, which is really cool. I used to do this a lot. Once again, with the school I used to work for, I was the media teacher, so I actually was the designated photographer and videographer for the school. So I had to send a lot of large files to like the principal and different people. So that works out great for that. So the files or folders have to be uploaded to Google Drive first. I want to stress that. You just insert the link into Gmail message with the click of a button. So if you can see right here, if you never noticed, there's this tiny at the bottom, looks like a Google Drive. You just click that, and you can go into your shared drive, share with me, recent upload, or my drive. You just choose whatever you want to send. So say I want to send this little screenshot right here. I can send it as an attachment, or I keep it as a Google Drive link. That way it gives them a link. When they click the link, it opens in Google Drive. And then I just click insert, and there it is. So super easy, super cool. I think we're going to skip some of these other ones, right, guys? So yeah, I'm going to hand it back off to Sherry, I believe.
Yep. Okay, so the next one I'll just briefly cover shared drives. So shared, Josh, mute.
And the good thing is all of that is in the
Presentation.
Yeah, it's in the
So shared drives are really great to have if you work on a team like me, Josh, and Isabel. We have our own shared drives. Erin is on the call with us. She is my old director. I'm pretty sure I'm still part of their shared drives all the way back in 2020, and when we switched over from Elevate to Certify. But basically, it's a really great way for you to have a place to store all of your things. You can also manage your people. So if you manage members, you can see that I am the manager of this Test Tech Tuesday, and Isabel's a content manager, and so is Josh. I can either make them a manager or contributor, commenter, or viewer. And basically how that is broken down is a manager gets to do all of these things. They get to do all of them. Content manager gets to do half of them. Contributor gets to do a little less. And then your commenter and viewers don't get to do that much. They just can view files and folders, and they can comment. But basically that's how you manage your users. I'm gonna speed up really quickly. Checker Plus for Google Drive. This is an extension that I have previously covered on a different Tech Tuesday. I do have mine pinned, but it's just, you can go to the extension store and add it to your Chrome. And if you click here, you can see that I'm not in my Google Drive at all, but I have all the access to my Google Drive right here. I can even search for something. I'm going to do Grinch because I did a lot of Grinch stuff for Christmas. And I can open it, and it just opens in a new tab. It doesn't close my other tab. It just opens it in a new tab. We think that's like really great to have. And then,
So it's almost like Google Drive for desktop, but now it's Google Drive for browser.
yes. And then the last thing that we will cover is our, Josh has already put something in, you've put this link in the chat, but the Google backup how-to sheets, there's two. There's one for Google Drive backup, and that's basically the desktop version of the Google Drive. And then you have the Google Drive data backup, and that's a lot of dragging and dropping or uploading to the Google Drive. Yep. And that is it. So if there are any questions, please let us know.
Thank you. And we do recommend that you move all your files to your Google Drive this summer, because all computers will be moved to Windows 11, and you might lose any files that you have saved on your desktop. So that's why we created these documents, which are also located on our website, midlanddiocese.net/itech. If you scroll down on the left, you'll find where it says Google Drive data backup, and both of these documents are there if you need quick tips on how to do it. Thank you so much for joining us, and let us know if you have any questions. Yes.
Can I, does that apply to documents we have like on the network drive, or is just anything that's on our computer, like desktop?
I believe it's just anything on your desktop computer.
Okay.
Yes, it could stay, but there is a risk that you might lose all your files. Same for laptops. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and stop the recording. Josh, if you can stop it. And
Happy trails, partner.
If you have any other questions, we'll be here.